So I'm about to show you the exact page of note that I wish I had before I landed in Kenya. Most of these blog sites, they give you some stuff, but most times they're just generic stuffs. They don't give you things that will make you not lose money, feel safe, or that will save you from getting fined. So today I'm giving you 10 most important things that you need before traveling to Kenya. So make sure to stick around because before the end of this video, I have something special for you. Number one is visa policy and ETA, and I'll explain that in a bit. So Kenya recently announced visa-free policy for many African countries. So Kenya is currently visa-free for Nigerians. At the time you might be watching this, it may have changed. So always make sure to check before leaving. But if you're going from South America or from some part of Asia and major parts of Europe, you might need a visa. Okay, but if you're from Africa, make sure to always check. But if you're a Nigerian, as at this point, at this time, it's visa free. Now, ETA, because a country is visa free does not mean that you don't need an ETA. An ETA is an electronic travel authorization. Usually you get this online, and for Kenya, for most countries, you might need this, but for a lot of African countries, you don't need to get this. But make sure you check on the site. I'll put the appropriate site to be sure that you don't need it. But as at now, you don't need this document if you're a Nigerian and you have a Nigerian passport. And there's some people that are still collecting money for this ETA. There's someone that was narrating a story. There's a lot of illegitimate sites online that want to bill you for the ETA. Whereas if you're a Nigerian at this point, you don't need that. Just get the link. This is the official link below. Make sure you try to impute your data. You just need to fill in form and also put the biodata page of your passport, and then they will confirm if you really need this ETA or not. So thank me later if you see this video. Number two is to pack wisely. When people think about East Africa, they always think about a place that is scorching, the sun is scorching and all, but Kenya is often not always hot. It can get really cold, especially early in the mornings. Imagine you're going for a safari drive, or let's say you have somewhere to be that morning. Always remember that it can get really cold, so it's always good to layer up. And also at night the temperature might drop, so it's always good to layer up. Getting towards the afternoon time, you can now start peeling off your layers, right? But it's always good to layer up so that you are not left thinking, why did I carry this? Why did I carry this? A lot of people get to Kenya, I'm like, oh my god, Kenya is so cold. I didn't know it was going to be this cold. Please just know ahead of time that Kenya can be very, very cold. Okay, so just keep that in mind and make sure to pack like a fleece, a jacket, something warm. The third one, like in my notes, I put M-PESA. Make sure to get M-PESA when you get to the city or at the airport. It's so important. You know, cash is king. In Kenya, it's almost cashless. It's almost a cashless policy nation, all right? So it's important to get a SIM card when you first land in Kenya. Very important. I would recommend safari.com. I think they're called Safari, right? I'll put that on the screen. Make sure you get this, and when you get this, make sure that when you are right there, you connect it immediately to M-PESA. They will help you with getting that downloaded and registering. And as soon as you do that, put your money inside because it will save you a lot. There are places where they don't accept cash, and the only thing that can save you is M-PESA. Even sometimes transportations, they may not have maybe change to give you. Maybe it costs some certain amount and you're supposed to pay that amount. They will tell you to send it to their M-PESA. If you don't have M-PESA, it can cost a lot of time wasting for you. Like you'll be there, you have to go ask somebody, the rider will have to go. If you want to avoid all that and you want something more comfortable for you, make sure to download the M-PESA. At the Giraffe Center, they don't accept cash. You need M-PESA. You need either M-PESA or your credit card. So of course you should have your cash. I'm not saying you should not have any cash with you, but make sure there's something also on your M-PESA so that in case cash fails, sometimes you can just easily use your M-PESA. And it's easy to use. It's like a mobile money app. It's very easy to use. But I would like to ask you, have you ever been to a country where cash was not actually king, and what was the payment system like in that place? Let me know in the comment section. Number 4 is the plastic bag. ban. I know that I mentioned this in my culture shock video on Kenya, but I also want to mention this for the sake of people who don't have an idea of what this is about. So in most East African countries, plastics are banned. It's official, no selling of plastic bags, no buying, no using of those things. It's just for sustainability and to keeping the country eco-friendly. So if you're traveling, make sure to not put your, I know you might be thinking, okay, where do I put my toiletries? Make sure to not put them in a plastic bag. So maybe your shoes or something, say, okay, let me just put it in a plastic bag. Find alternatives for it, because most times when you get to the airport, your bags will be scanned and you might get fined or even worse. So make sure to keep things eco-friendly. Number 5 would be transport tactics. Let me give you a tip, right? Make sure to download Uber and Bolt because they work in Kenya, right? Of course, if you want a cheaper way of using the transport, you can use matatus, but I wouldn't recommend it for a beginner, right? You might not know where to stop, you might not know where your actual location is, so it's better to just put in the location on a Bolt or an Uber app and then it will get you right there. Another thing you should know is that traffic can be intense in Nairobi. So one thing you want to do is, one thing that I did while I was there is that instead of taking, when I book on Bolt or Uber, instead of going with a cab, like a four-wheeled vehicle, I go with a motorbike because it's able to peel through the traffic and get me to my destination, especially when I have to be somewhere at a particular time. So that's what you want to put in time. So even if the distance might look short online, just put it in the back of your mind that you might need to add some extra minutes to that to get to your actual destination. So the 6th one is Airbnb and hotels. I know that there are usually debate about which is better, Airbnbs and hotels. I think it really depends on what you're looking for. Airbnbs are great if you want some sort of like flexibility because you can have time, more space, just you alone. Then also you can cook your own meal if you want to. But with hotels, most times, of course, like you also have, sometimes most hotels comes with complimentary breakfast, so you don't have to think about another meal that you eat in that morning. And of course, like security sometimes can be more structured in a hotel setting than in an Airbnb. So it really depends on what you're looking for. But one thing I will say is that always look for places that are central to the location, that they are centralized. There's a lot of like positive reviews on those places. So whenever you're booking, make sure to look for those two things. Are they going to be central to places like malls, touristic places, banks, things like that? One of my top recommendations for Kenya and Nairobi would be Westlands. Think of the Westlands like a tourist base camp. It's centralized, so malls, pharmacies, and restaurants. So you feel comfortable moving around in this place. Another place that some people recommend is Karen, and then I believe Gigivri, if I'm right with the pronunciation. But just make sure that you are always checking for reviews. Go with reviews, and also go with centralized locations. All right, and please remember that even in these safe areas, make sure that you're not working alone at night, and that if you have to move with transport or any of these things, you are using Bolt or Uber, please just always make sure you are self-conscious wherever in the world. Always try to be conscious of your environment. Number 7, this one, I need you to hear me and hear me good, is to book your train ahead of time, because most of my subscribers already know what happened to me while I was in Kenya. So I wanted to take a trip from Nairobi to Mombasa, but then I ended up not being able to go because by the time I got into Nairobi and I wanted to book my train ride, it was already filled up. There was no single seat for me, for one person, just to move from Nairobi to Mombasa. And moving with train is a lot better than moving by going by road. You can also go by road, you can also go by air, but I wanted to try the train experience because it's always beautiful. You have nice views. Sometimes you can even catch one of the big fives right there, out when you're moving. So it's actually a great experience, but I was not able to do that because the train was filled up, especially during the peak season. Usually get filled up even a month ahead. So if you want to go, make sure if you want to go to the coastal areas, Mombasa, all those places, make sure you're booking your train right at least a month ahead, all right, or 2 weeks. 2 weeks is actually quite risky, but try to see if you can do it a month ahead of time. Number 8, this is for people who love safari rides. So don't assume that because you're going for safari rides you're going to see all the animals. Sometimes it might get a little disappointing because it really depends on the guide. It really depends on at what time of the day and at what season. So sighting really depends on these 3 things. So don't assume that as you enter in, the animals are going to be waiting for you in front of the gate. No, it doesn't work like that. According to my research, these are top 2 places if you want to have the best view and sightings. One is the Masai Mara National Park. It is said to be the best, one of the best spots for wildlife and for safaris, because you are able to see it has like a wide vast of wildlife, and also you can get to see like the big five: lion, leopard, elephants, rhino, and buffalo. So I think that's quite exciting. Another one is the Amboseli National Park, and the reason why this is recommended is because you can get to see the highest mountain in Africa, the backside of it, like the Kilimanjaro. So if you want to have that view, it's in Tanzania, but if you want to have a view without going into Tanzania, you can get that at the Amboseli National Park. So keep that in mind when you are planning. The 9th one, just like previously I talked about M-PESA, I'm saying that cash is also needed sometimes. So you can bring in your euro and your dollar, and one thing you can do is that you can change it always make sure that you're changing at the foreign exchange, those registered places. You will see like their offices. I prefer that to just changing by the roadside, because sometimes you're not really sure. You're still trying to navigate this place. You don't even know what the currency looks like. You're not very well adapted to what the currency looks like. So it's just better to say to change there. I know that sometimes the rates might not be all that great, but I'd rather just change money there than trying to look out for someone who can change at black market rate for me. Finally, number 10, embrace pole pole. It's a Swahili word for slowly, slowly. So if you're coming from a place like my country, Nigeria, from Abuja, from Lagos especially, you're used to things being fast, let's do this sweet and everything. But when you get into a place like this, or even to other countries, learn to understand how things move there. Like, take your time, learn to enjoy it, learn to just be in that zen. You're there to explore. It's for exploration. If you're trying to make things just like the same way you left it back at home, you'll become very frustrated. So just learn to adapt with whatever you meet, and you're going to actually enjoy your stay while in Kenya. So let me know if this was helpful. Let me know if this was helpful in the comment section. I know that planning this thing can be a lot stressful. I do offer private creation. If you want to travel to Kenya, you want to visit Kenya, where I help you with a guide, an itinerary, depending on the number of days you want to spend in Kenya. So if you are that person, make sure to send me an email here. All right, and then we can take it up from there. Thank you very much. If this video is meant to get to 5,000 views and maybe 500 likes, I may consider doing another video where I share general tips and like maybe a general itinerary if you're visiting Kenya. So thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe and share with your friends, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.